need to stop kissing your children's mouth. You know, like, you get a lot of weird reactions.
About the time when they went in the Santa's spoiler.
Yeah.
Welcome to the archive.
What's up, everyone? Episode 33. We got Scorched Vatika.
Yeah, baby.
So, Vatika, right? 100%.
Yeah, that's it.
100%.
When I was watching some videos, you know, I heard some different
Scorched Vatika.
yeah. That was one.
Deliverers of the okie dokie.
Vodka.
And my son,
Sounds like Russian.
my son, I asked him if he remembered our name, and he said Scorched Vatika.
Hell yeah.
Like, okay, all right.
That's a sick name, bro.
It's like, it is
Time to
now.
name
You gotta-
change.
Again.
We'll just take it. You're going to see it's going to be called the Scorched Vatika podcast next week. But, yeah, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Lane.
Vocals.
Ryan, yeah. Ryan,
Yeah, I
has
do
the
vocals.
drums.
Alec Fructal bass, attempted backup vocals.
Jack, guitar.
Adam, background vocals and guitar.
Hell yeah. So you were formed in 2018 pretty much. How did that come
Yeah, it
about?
would have been April
Yeah.
or May.
Yeah.
So Adam and I were in a band, I guess in 2017, 2018 that broke up. And he and I wanted to keep going as a group, so we found ourselves a storage unit over in Murfreesboro and started doing the Craigslist thing, you know.
Yeah.
And it really didn't take that long, honestly, though, to put together a solid group. Like,
Yeah.
Lane was first, wasn't he?
Yeah.
We had
Was
Lane
May.
come in, yeah.
Yeah.
Then Ryan, and then Ryan's friend Carl was was our first guitar, secondary or rhythm guitar
Yeah.
or whatever. But it, you know, just there were some differences, and so he backed out. And then we got our young prodigy, Mr. Jack Scorched,
Yeah,
over
buddy.
here, and yet we pretty much stuck to it. 2 practices a week for the last year, and I guess a few
just a
months.
little
That
over
we
a
had
year.
that
Pretty
we were-
religiously.
Oh yeah.
Dang. That's very impressive. Yeah.
It's not easy to do. Bands
wasn't-
when you got family and work, it's not
For
easy.
sure.
It's work.
But we hope it comes through, you know,
Yeah,
in the tunes.
yeah,
It's like these
definitely.
guys have been at it for a while,
Yeah,
you know, or at
that's-
least trying, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough to do as a band. Get together and
For anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Getting 5 people in the same room.
It's true.
Yeah. That's very tough. So that's dope. You'll definitely be able to tell in live shows. Be like, oh, these guys actually practice.
I feel like it was pretty unspoken from the beginning too. Like
That we were gonna be.
we were all just like, yeah, we got to be in here like at least twice a week, period.
So I think we
get
just
it
all
done.
had like the same level of like, I want to see where we can take this. Not necessarily that we're gonna like jump in full time, but you know, we
Right.
want to sink
Committed.
as much time as we can into it, you know, and time and effort, and that's what it's been. A lot of it.
Yeah. And then so you released The Blind. That was in November.
Yep.
So and then okay, so I saw a post. This is I guess early 2019 that said like you had an EP. And it
Oh,
yeah.
We were gonna record evolved before into Jack
Um,
joined.
this album.
We had 5 songs written, and we wanted to get him up to speed with the 5 songs. So we was gonna try to do just the 5 songs, but then we just kept writing more with him, and we finished recording in November, and we had it mastered right after that, and we just got these CDs yesterday rather. So
they'll be available.
Close up to
20
that.
Yeah,
Or just
I can post it.
Yeah, they'll
I can put an overlay on.
we'll be.
on the,
Those will be available for sale at our album release show a week from Saturday, January
Yeah,
25th,
25th.
or on
Keep plugging.
Spotify. Or on Spotify.
Yeah.
Spotify, iTunes.
It's supposed to be
Apple
iTunes
Music.
and Apple Music. Has it gone on?
It's
there
like
yet?
everything.
For the
It
singles
won't.
that we released.
Who are you going
won't.
through?
DistroKid.
DistroKid.
Oh yeah, it'll go on all the.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Spotify was pretty quick, wasn't it?
Surprising.
Yeah, for the singles, but for the singles, we kind of uploaded them maybe a week or a few days before we wanted them to go live, so it took a little longer for it to
Right.
go live on everything else. But the album, we already have it uploaded there
Yeah.
to get processed and go live on the 25th. So
Right.
it should be live everywhere
Yeah.
on the 25th.
I learned that mistake when we released like our first singles.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like 3 days before and then upload it online or something.
Right, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
got, you know, it is cool though that they ran us through, like, or they helped us out with copyright stuff and all that, you know.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, it's pretty tough. That's another big step that, like, it's don't
Yeah.
always know how to get through it or how to even approach it. So
It's crazy how easy it is to do that shit now, because
yeah, right.
like CD, we always go through CD Baby, and they'll take care of just everything. Even if you don't want to do all the ASCAP and BMI and write your own publishing rights and everything, they're like, oh, just pay us more and we'll do it for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they really help you prevent you from shooting yourself in the
Yeah.
foot and playing for free. When you should be getting paid, kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So, did you take over any songs from the EP that,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
the
yeah,
original?
Yeah, 5 of them.
Yeah, all 5
Yeah,
of them.
all
five of them.
But
You're
really,
really
they're probably all pretty.
They're all...
Everything's spiritually changed.
Yeah.
Once we got the full group together, because it's like I think we all have pretty equal input really in the music as well
Yeah.
as our own respective fields. So like once Jack came in, he came on to the songs we already had written, and then he's added his own little flavor to it or whatever, and then he started having influence in the songwriting. So I guess the last 3 or 4 songs we've written, Jack has been another part of the a bigger part of the songwriting process. So
Right.
again, like I think we all carry a pretty equal weight in doing that.
Yeah, we
For sure.
we spend a lot of time, like, we'll get the basic song pattern down, the structure and everything, and then I'll think about it throughout the days and see where we can put accents and what, like, if I hear something that Lane does on vocals that maybe the drums could accent or we could accent, I'd like to at least hear it. Or if I'm hearing something that Ryan's doing, I'll be like, oh, I can add another couple notes in there to make it, more of a musicianship type of thing.
Right.
So
Dynamics.
we write it basically, then revise it pretty heavily, and then we just finish the song after that. So
Yeah, and so most of our rehearsal time is just like repeating what we've been working on throughout the week, and like so there's a lot of like, okay, we got it this far, let's keep going until we can play through the whole song without messing up or something,
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will say, the first track on this thing, Jade, that was completely written by the time I was in this band, and we recorded it in, like, I want to say October, November, and there were edits being made in September to that song still. I mean, yeah.
Yep.
And there's a lot of
Oh,
meat
yeah.
on that one, there's a lot going on
Yeah.
in that song.
Hell
So
yeah.
Yeah.
for you to have to pick up on it that quick.
Yeah.
It's the fun. The
Yeah.
fun
Yeah.
part about it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Challenge yourself. The Laid Back. Saw that.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a YouTuber, people who don't know. He does kind of like a reaction. So he did a reaction to The Blind.
Yep.
And he was, I didn't like Brian said he submitted it, but I totally forgot about it. And then out of the thousands of suggestions he probably gets,
Yeah.
he chose us. I was like, that's amazing. So between all the views on that video, which is about 3,400, I think, and all the plays on Spotify and everywhere else, it's been heard about 5,000 times.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's in a few months, and I was like, okay.
And we've got some
That's-
international stuff going on too, and I'm not sure exactly where it came from. I think it came from my Instagram account because I've got a bunch of Russian people. I just post like guitar work stuff, like where I do setups on guitars, where I
Yeah.
build a guitar. And there's some Russian people that are super into it. So like we had at least 2 or 3 listeners from somewhere in like Eastern
Yeah.
Europe or whatever. So we're already branching out.
listening.
Yeah.
Another cool thing about the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
definitely.
Like it
Get
would have
out
been a
there.
lot harder back in the day. You can't just
Right.
like mail your cassette or your or whatever just to record store in
Your old
Norway.
8-track.
Yeah.
And just like talking about overseas,
Oh yeah.
we got this album cover done.
It's got a name on here.
That
Yuri.
website Fiverr.
Yuri Chuchmai. I don't know.
I
if
just
that's what you
typed
say.
in
Chuchmai.
metal band
Yeah.
logo art and brought up like 50 different people, and most of them from overseas, like in Indonesia and India and Pakistan and stuff. And you text them just like you would me and you texting. You can send pictures,
Yeah.
and it's how, if they're available, you can almost get an immediate text back.
It's like a big gig site,
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
Oh, yeah,
Craigslist
Fiverr's
kind of
crazy.
thing.
So
It was really cool
out
though.
pretty
like,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks sick too.
We
Thank
had
you.
that. We had that done, and we had the shirt, our new shirts
Here we go.
More plugging.
Hold it up. Hold it up.
3 different
Put your colors up.
We got the black.
Let's get another close up on that.
This is like the home shopping network.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Are you telling me these are only
when I edit it, I'm gonna put
$15?
price tags underneath it.
Yes.
Black.
Like, I'm getting calls off the roof or off the line here. You know, they're telling me is this only $15?
Yeah.
My goodness, we better sell
like
one.
$150 and slash it out.
Slash it like 5 or 6 times until it's down to like 30, which is still too much.
Have you seen that South Park where he's like,
Yes.
yeah.
And there was like Stan's grandpa or something calls him and is like, you should just do it. You should just like
do it.
Can we really?
Yeah.
So you, let's see, recorded it with Randall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't say enough
Yeah.
good things about that
Yeah,
guy.
he's great.
Yes.
Awesome.
Ovation Music
yeah,
and
in
Studios.
Gallatin.
Yep.
Yeah. How was that?
Yeah, it's a
process?
super cool little spot inside of music, like a
super chill
guitar store
environment
kind
and
of place. Yeah, I think does he just record on Sundays?
I'm not sure.
He closed down the shop when we came out there on a Sunday, you know, early
Mm-hmm.
morning, whatever, and we'd go out there and set up. And really professional guy, really great, just a cool guy to work for sure and work with.
Also very affordable.
Yeah, and affordable,
yeah.
and that's of course
That's a plus, too.
Yeah, always a plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking-
Yeah. Did you get like behind the scenes footage and shit?
a little bit. Oh, we got a good picture of Adam like leaning right into the monitor. I don't remember where that one is though.
I got it in here somewhere. It
We
took me a
got it.
second
Maybe we
to
can
find
send
it.
you that.
Yes, and
Yes.
throw it up on the screen.
Yes, it's a great picture.
It is a good one. It really is.
Yeah, but not as much as we should have. I
Yeah,
don't
we were-
think.
Dude, I know it's so hard.
Well, and especially like we were out there, Adam and
Next
I were out
time
there
wanna take,
playing
like,
chess or
videos
whatever
so we
while
can
somebody
post,
was
like,
tracking.
playthrough.
Like he was tracking drums, and Adam and I were out playing chess on like the sales floor. Like we would just pick up guitars and just play them, you know,
Right.
for a little bit. This is a really cool place.
Yeah, that's cool. And then mastered by John. John Script. Massive mastering.
Yeah. Very professional.
Very affordable.
I wasn't part of that.
Yeah,
That's
right.
Affordable enough. Yeah. But like we
got the
legit, we
text
sent
on
this
there,
entire
though.
album and it took very much less than a week to get all of the songs back. And
Damn.
like we were always told that I was always told at least like you wouldn't like your first mastering, but I think all of these are the first masters. So.
Yeah.
Really good. Really
We had 3 different people do mastering samples of one song,
Oh, that's right.
and we just chose John. They basically all sounded fairly close,
Right.
but you know we're talking about the length of time it gets back to you, that sort of thing, as well as price wise. But yeah, I think we got him back in like 2 days,
That's great.
and yeah, so
Well, I think that's also credit to Randy too. Like he didn't leave him with too much work to do. I think.
Yeah.
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 You know,
Good
You
mix
did
is the
really
most
good.
important.
Yeah, you did a really good job mixing them.
Yeah.
It was good not having another set of hands on that whole process too, because I think just another set of hands would have kept it going for another couple days. Because it seems like every time we took something and we're like, all right, here's this draft per se, like one of us would have something like, oh, we
Oh,
need
yeah.
to tweak that, like
Yeah.
That's just the creative process, you know, between
Yeah.
5
It is.
people or 6, you know, if you include the engineer or whoever.
but
Yeah, and it was nice using Randy to mix it because he was there recording it. So when we had like a suggestion about something that needed changed, it's like he already had the knowledge of what was
Well,
going
and he
on.
already
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
all our setups too. So once we did
Yeah.
it the first time, every time we come out there, he's like, "Okay, you're ready to go."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I've barely even done anything. I just got here, you know, and I'm ready to go.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then it's funny now you say Fiverr, it makes so much sense because I saw the artwork. It was like by Yuri. I was like, that's a pretty
Church
wild
Mayor.
name.
Yeah,
But now it makes sense.
yeah,
It was
boy,
from
Adam.
Russia.
yeah.
yeah.
Old boy out of Dixon.
Yuri from Dixon.
Yori, come on now.
Get down, get over
Been a
here.
lifelong fan.
Yeah,
But and we already talked about it. You got the album release show January 25th. That's the day it's going up on streaming
Yes.
and everything. Yeah. It's exciting.
It is
Yeah,
very
super
much.
It
excited.
feels
A lot of-
weird.
It's
yeah.
just-
It's like a wedding
This
day.
feels weird.
It is.
Yeah.
Right?
It is. It's a wedding day because we got all this brand new stuff coming out, and we're just celebrating our new life
Together, yeah.
Together.
Like, now
Our
it's
new life together.
It wasn't official before.
Yeah.
Like we were just dating each other as bandmates. You know, we would hang out at the rehearsal
Now it's
studio
like
and
a
then we would all just go home. But now it's like
Now we've
real.
all got to feed the baby.
Now the government's involved. Now this is copyright.
Now we need a house like the Archeon's house.
Exactly.
And check this out. You just bought a Honda Odyssey for your drum kit,
yeah,
which
dude.
already makes you kind of like a dad,
Like
you know. So
yeah,
you know,
you can stock around
you got
it,
that going for
You can
you.
drive us around and not driving your drum kit around.
So now
Ryan,
you're gonna go
what's
home,
going
try on all the
on?
shirts together.
Totally,
Oh
absolutely.
my god.
How many can we fit in one shirt, guys?
Putting your CD into like a CD player.
We'll all have a pillow fight only wearing the Scorched Vatika shirts.
Dude, put it up on Pornhub.
On OnlyFans. No, the OnlyFans are like
Yes.
premium Snapchat or something.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
The Scorched Vatika OnlyFans
Yeah.
in the works.
Our biggest.
We've talked about it, man. I'll just post pics of my dick, you know.
But see, the problem is then somebody's gonna message you with like $10,000 and it's gonna be like, you guys have to fuck each other, and you're gonna be like, wait,
yeah, no, that's fine.
$1,000. I mean,
that you didn't have before.
You didn't even have to give 10,000. I would
20
for
bucks.
120.
yeah,
$20 is $20.
yeah.
You guys have to
I
have
ain't
a
getting
band,
the $20.
band orgy now on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Metal band orgy.
Just easily. What's it called? The facial thing or the
Deepfakes?
The deepfakes,
Yeah.
yeah. Just go to some gay porn.
And just put all your faces
your
on
faces.
there. Be like, that guy's voice doesn't sound anything like the other guy. I don't know, man.
We're gonna sell it as merch,
Yeah.
like the video.
Like R. Kelly when he had like.
Oh my god.
We should do
That
just
ain't
a,
right.
We should do
Yeah,
a,
right.
we should do a whole song with just like pig squeals that we can put up like that, like, in the background for the fake out video. Like,
Just like porno grind type.
yeah.
And we're gonna rename our band Scorched Venereals.
Oh, that was another thing. When we were trying to come up with the name. Oh god, dude. Fucking the group text was just on
Dude, coming up with a
fire.
band name.
It's the worst.
I
yeah.
wish
Yeah.
We
I thought bands break up because of that.
Stone
our original name was Stolen Valor, and he made the SV logo.
we
And
kept.
I got onto
Looks great.
Bandcamp.
you go.
I got onto Bandcamp and done searches for like if there's any other bands named that, because I don't want the same band name as somebody else.
Yeah.
So it was already taken. Like a punk band in New York, I think. So we spent, I think, 6 weeks
At least.
texting back and forth, like just
Hundreds of names.
hundreds of names, and then I went down
That's
and
ridiculous name.
I wrote down every one of them,
We did like an elimination.
and then we eliminated like a NCAA bracket,
Yeah.
like
Smashed
and
But it was all it all had to
Stoned
fall within
Right,
the SV,
the
so that
SV.
we could keep using the
Oh,
logo.
yeah.
And
Also, I think
that's
all
the
of
reason
us
why
were-
it took so long, because we wanted to
took
keep the
forever.
SV.
Even when we got down to the
Right.
final 5, like we had to revisit the final 5 or 3 or whatever it was, like 2 or 3 practices, you know. And
flipped
we
a
were,
coin in the end.
Yeah,
and then we went
yeah,
back out to Susan
and then we were like,
the other
oh no, I
ones.
don't like that.
What was the other one? What was
There
the
was
top?
Sinister-
Struck Vein was the second to last.
Yeah,
It's
Struck
a very
Vein
different
and then
sounding
Scarlet
name.
Vision.
Sinister
Oh, yeah.
Visions was one of them.
Sinister Vision.
There's a lot.
We had a couple good ones. Quite a
We
few.
might change it.
It's too late. Sometimes I just tell people SV because I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, you always got to explain
Just
what it
just
is.
when they ask your band name, just send them that list, the original list you had.
Yeah,
Pick one of these.
Just pick one of these.
It would be like a Google Doc, like 20-page Google Doc. Like,
Stoned Velociraptor.
that was a good one.
That was the other one.
That was one of those like joke names that we all kind of secretly were like, I kind of want it to be that. Like,
Yes.
actually kind of like that.
We're all dressed up in those T-Rex costumes on stage.
You should just do a side project,
Yeah.
but just play your music.
Right.
So-
It's like we're a Scorched Vatika cover band.
Yeah.
Our gimmick is we dress
Like
up
that
as
Metalocalypse.
Yeah.
Metalocalypse where
Metalocalypse.
they start to cover band.
Yeah, and then we gotta be the regular jack-offs again.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that episode, like really, every time we set up a show, like every time I'm making a flyer for a show, I think about that episode.
Right.
Like when they go to like the one dude, like the Kinko's type place, the printing place, like, you guys mean the next big metal band? You guys gonna be the next rock stars? And I'm just like,
God, what a great show.
No, dude, I went and rewatched. It was free on Adult Swim for a while. It might still
really?
be on the app. Yeah.
It's on Hulu, isn't it? Or did they take it down?
Is it? I don't
So
know.
I watched most of it on Hulu.
I don't know. It was cool to binge it because the episodes are like usually only like 12 or 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Some of them are like a full length episode, but like, and then they've got the movie at the end. And when you binge watch it, you don't realize that there's actually a story. You
Yeah.
know? Like when you just catch it at like 2 o'clock in the morning on Adult Swim, you're like, oh, that's goofy, you know. But like, there's an actual story going over the whole show. Like, who knew?
Yeah.
Brendan Small's a genius, though. He puts a lot of thought into all of his projects.
And it's just good music, too.
I know. Maybe we should let's get some animators involved and let's have ourselves our own little rock opera movie, right?
Dude, I would love to. I've thought about it. I was like, I should go to school for animation. Or
Right.
something. Like, it'd be so cool.
We could do a collab, you know.
Even
and have,
like,
we've got to fight, you know,
Yeah.
like a band.
Battle of the Bands.
Or like
a
a
music
brutal
video.
legend kind of thing, you know what I mean? Where it's got
Dude.
like a story, but it's like our music
I'm
in
so
there.
happy
You know what I
said
mean?
that.
Let's
I
do
fucking
it.
love Brutal Legend.
Let's do it.
I tried to.
You've seen it here first, folks.
Like a celebrity
Archeon's like
deathmatch
Scorched
thing, but
Vatika.
between us bands.
Yeah.
We should just do like it's like Marvel versus DC fighting game. That would be
Yeah.
sick.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
Get into
Or
it.
like we were talking about Soul Calibur at the last rerun show, because I don't remember which one it was, where you could be like Yoda versus like Raiden or
4.
whatever, you know. I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It had a whole
Soul
bunch of
Calibur
different
4,
characters.
You could be like Darth Vader or Yoda and all that stuff. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool.
That's
Yeah.
right, man.
Sorry, we got.
Kind of off topic a little bit
It's
there.
fine.
That's how podcasts go. You get sidetracked,
Yeah.
you know, and so it's whatever.
But,
Go with the flow.
Yeah, we're not live.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Fuck it,
We'll do it
live.
Somebody just get on a rant here in a minute. And
Yeah.
rant in the face like,
Oh, you mentioned that. Well,
Yeah. It's always funny. I forgot to do it for you guys. I apologize. But I'm always like, are there things that you don't want to talk about? And they're always just like politics. And,
Right.
And I was like, no, that's all we're talking about. That's all I talk about.
politics and religion.
Yeah.
it's like, what's your opinion? Okay, I'm taking the opposite.
Yeah, no matter what I
We're gonna
believe,
have
I'm
an
gonna be
argument
just because it makes podcasts more interesting.
Yeah.
You should really embrace your like between two ferns.
It's so fun. It's so funny you say that.
Or like
because
Eric Andre show
We're
or
totally gonna
something.
do like a thing that relates to that. So
That would work.
yeah,
It'd be that movie cracked me up. I didn't think I was
I
gonna
haven't seen
like
the movie
it.
yet.
yeah, we watched it a
it's
couple weeks
fantastic.
ago.
It was pretty silly.
Yeah.
It's
It's been so. When was the last time one of those episodes aired? It was like 2012.
No, I think it was much.
It was around the election
Was
in
it
2016. I think.
2016?
I'm not
I think
sure.
so because he had Hillary on there. He's like, "How can I reach you?"
Oh yeah,
Email.
true.
Oh,
You got mail.
I think I've seen a meme of that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Brilliant.
One of the videos you guys have on Facebook is when you're doing vocals. And you have your phone, and like reading lyrics, and it just cracked me up because we do that all the time.
Oh,
And so,
yeah.
like, I wonder if that's just a universal vocal thing.
I think it might be.
gotta
It must be
Yeah,
Why not? You know.
that.
it's just like in between lines. Like, what am I about to say? You know?
And it's like, of course, when you play live, I'm sure you don't ever even worry about it. Like, it's in your head. But
Yeah.
when you're doing it, like, there's
It's
just
weird.
a certain, like, different type of pressure when it comes to
When
going
you're
into the
it
studio.
sucks. Recording sucks. I hate it.
It's something.
You can
it's,
play. You
it's
can
a
play
whole
the
different
song
animal.
perfect. Like,
Yeah,
Live.
15 practices before you go to record. You go to record, and it's like,
just butcher.
why did I just fuck
everything.
up?
It took us one time to do this one section in the last song that we have on there, "Wash My Hands with This
Oh,
Madness."
yeah, and that's like our most.
And
crazy
it's an
song.
easy song to get into, but with the click, we just could not get the thing to. We could not get to start on
At the
time
same
for
time,
shit
yeah.
for like 10-15 minutes, and I'm like, what the fuck is going
Well, it's
on?
like the riff itself.
That was the only thing.
Starts on like the and of the beat or something.
But we finally got it. But it's just
Yeah.
that was the only thing. It's like,
Yeah, that one section, it did take us a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's all right. Makes you better.
Yeah.
I feel like, and then it sucks 'cause you start doubting yourself, and you're like, maybe I am the worst.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm not as
It's
good
possible.
as I thought. Maybe.
I know, yeah, and like
Maybe I
tracking
really
the bass
didn't.
parts really didn't take all that much time, but it's like there's just a certain point, like as I'm setting up, and I was like, what is this big long thing I'm holding? And I've got these little metal boxes at my feet, and I'm just like, have I been doing this for like my whole life, or did I just start this morning? Like,
You ever
what am I
have
doing?
dreams about playing a show and just fucking up like so bad? I've had so many dreams about that where I get on stage and it's usually a big crowd Yeah,
Of course, right.
Of course. And then it's like, shit, I forgot how to play my song.
Yeah.
You like
me and my
unzip your gig
normal
bag
life
and it's
now.
just that big dildo from Saints Row, and you're like, oh no, gotta play a show like this.
Slop.
Yeah.
And then you guys have like your entire show from at the end.
Yeah,
October
the
20th.
one- yeah, that was the like,
Who
Halloween.
edited that?
Oh yeah.
I think
Hey, what now?
That's
The
Adam.
wizard.
Oh yeah,
himself.
I edited it. Just
Sucks, doesn't it?
it does. It's a long process, and we took what 3 of our phones.
Yeah, you went and got those.
Like 3 or
those
4.
I live shot on my phone and it sounded like absolute shit.
well, yeah.
But we used 3 other phones in different positions,
Mine
and
was
I
the
just
best
I just
audio.
cut them up and
My phone
put
had the
them in
best
different-
audio because it was on that little porch thing. What do you
Yeah.
call that? Just like the side
Yeah,
of the
the-
stage,
yeah.
little
The
one
one
that
where
set up the
everybody
merch.
sits at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
like-
went and got that some little semi truck like what they usually use to mount their phones or something. This big like telescope and mount thing, and you know what? It worked out.
It was
pretty
like
well.
$5 a piece.
Yeah,
So
and that was cool.
I just took the
Anyway,
audio
yeah.
from all 3 phones and combined them into one file, and then trying to make them sound as best I could, and then just splice the videos just in random spots to kind of switch with the music, how it's going. So
That was
Yeah.
a wild show, man. Honestly, like just the whole.
there was
the
there
way
was
it
some
set
somebody
up
was during the last song we were playing, somebody was like punching somebody.
There was a mosh.
Yeah,
a mosh
like,
pit
this
started.
Someone got like kicked
And
in
I
the
guess-
face to the ribs.
I guess the end
Jesus
doesn't
Christ.
allow for moshes.
I don't think they like it.
Or so like I think they broke it up, but it went for a few minutes.
Well,
They
and
should
it was
just not
on.
have hardcore dance.
I know, right? Well, and we were like one of the only actual metal bands there.
We were the only
we were
metal
the
band
only
that
metal
was
band.
there.
It
And
was
you know what?
11
Was it like a
bands.
Maya Afton kind of thing?
I don't
It
know.
was it was a Halloween
alternative
type
kind
of
of stuff.
it was a Halloween type of show
I mean,
where
there
there
was
was
like
just a
one
shitload of
punk
bands.
band. It was mostly rock type stuff, and most of it was really good, you know. And I don't know. I just think we lucked into the best time slot because we had the best
Yes.
crowd. I think
It
really.
was,
Yeah.
it was really, yeah.
I don't
everybody
think
was
most of the
coming and
people
going,
there
like,
that showed up too were expecting to see like a metal show, but when they got
Yeah.
in there, you know, they were like really starting to get into it.
I
There
was shocked.
really-
I thought for sure we would like just
People
have
would
such
just
a
be
bad
standing there like
response. Yeah.
uncomfortably, just
Yeah,
like,
I
"Come
thought
here
for
to-"
sure. And then like look out, the biggest mosh pit we ever played to is just like right
Seriously.
there.
And there was
It's
that
like-
moment too when we're like we're down here this
Yeah.
really rhythmic part, and I look at Adam and look at Jack, and we see him out there, and we're just like, yes, dude, we did that. That was our.
Oh,
that
it's
was
the
our
most
thing.
empowering feeling I think I've ever had.
Right.
honestly.
I command.
I'm like,
you.
I am peaking right now. Like, this is it's never gonna
Yeah.
get better than this.
We've done it.
It's over.
We got our EPs, we got
Pack
it
our
in.
T-shirts, we
Pack
started
it
a
in.
mosh.
It's a good
That's
time to
it.
break up.
Plateau.
Good work, boys.
Trying to take over the world, Pinky.
I remember it was actually the first week or the last week of April that I met Adam, and when we like were sitting going over the songs for the first time, he was like, I was like, "What's your goal?" And he was like, "I really want to go on like a 2-week tour, man. Like,
Yeah.
if that's all we ever get, like,
Nice.
That's the only thing I haven't done. I've played a fest, I've played shows, I've been to studio multiple times, but I've never done like a 2-week tour. If I can do that, I'd be happy for the rest of my
Bucket
life
list, yeah.
because I would have done everything I wanted to
There
do.
for sure.
Yeah.
So,
sick."
but
Yeah.
if I go further than that, great. I just want to do it one time, 2 weeks. That's great,
Yeah.
and then I'm happy for
And
the
we
rest of
might
my
have
life.
something
so.
in the works for that too. The guy, Demon Belly. You guys ever played with Demon Belly? Know anything
Hail
about
We
it?
should
Demon
get them on
Belly.
the show.
Hail Demon Belly.
They
Yeah,
would
there's
thrive
something.
on this show.
They would.
Hell yeah, I need to hit them up.
Yeah,
no
seriously.
kidding.
Their frontman Emperor Snakebeard was talking with us.
Dude,
for a
fuck
little
yeah. You tell them to message me.
Was the drummer Sugar J something? And,
Yeah,
and
Sugar J.
They recently acquired a bass player, a really great, really excellent player named David Thrashelhog the First. And, so yeah, they've got a very much like a Guar type. You know, they've got their characters, they've got their thing, and they rock. But they were thinking about maybe going on a tour this year.
If they come on the show, they might even give you the benefit of being known as a minion rather than a mortal.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, they're really cool. But yeah, we might get to play with them some more. We've been playing with them at Twin Kegs too. I don't know. I've never
We
been.
played with them like 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
Why?
The one show we missed with them in November, Emperor Snakebeard actually almost decapitated
He
somebody
hit
with a sword.
hit their bassist with a sword.
Yeah, it was their current bass
And
player.
I think he just joined too. He just finally got a bass player, and you know, and I guess he went at him with a sword. And,
Ignited and he fucking
yeah, and he cut him like right over his eye. They're legendary in their own right.
I want to hear about the hair.
Some would call me D. Monroe. No, but for real, it was just a thing. Like we were at the storage unit. We were getting ready to get our first pictures taken, and I don't know. I was just thinking about, all right, if we do get famous, if we get big, we're well known. You know, I kind of want to have something that I do different than pretty much any other drummer or whatever out there. I mean, people do masks and outfits and things like that, but I don't really know of too many other
Big
artist
ass hairs.
bands or whatever that just do a
Weird
wig or something like
Right.
that. And something to where, you know, if I'm on stage, that's, you know, when most people see me, that's how they're going to see me. When I'm out about in my normal life, you know, not wearing it, they might not recognize me right away. So
We'll
I can
never
still,
know.
I can still live my normal life. And
I've heard so many
not
people
be
say,
harassed by-
is that
by
his
people
real
like
hair?
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah.
the first
I'm
couple
like,
shows,
no,
the
it's
first couple
not.
shows we made
It's
a point of
just-
saying, I was like, that's his real hair.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta, everyone, don't ask, it's his real hair.
Don't ever cut
He's
your hair.
very sensitive about it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work keeping this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a grind.
Keeping
Where'd you
this
get
nice.
It's a lot of work in that
From
cheap.
my mama.
What do you mean?
Get it from his mama.
Yeah, he'll like wear that in the car while driving to the
Yeah.
show. Like
Yeah.
nobody's seen
He's
that.
in character way
entire
before the
time.
show.
The entire time. I don't want anyone to see me outside of this until I'm in
So,
normal,
he's in
my normal
character.
life.
Yeah. Yeah. We fucked up. We fucked up with the podcast. Now everybody knows the secrets.
Oh.
Yeah. It's all good.
It's all
You
good.
can know the secret.
Yeah.
They won't recognize
Yeah.
If you're
me
listening to
outside of
this,
it.
then you're one of the privileged few who
Yeah.
get
We'll just-
to know.
we'll just cut as soon as he starts talking. Well, the story is then like on to the next.
It's like redacted, just like a big like.
Put a
This
black
footage has
bar
been
like
censored
over,
by the U.S. government.
over my face the entire time. Like I'm talking.
They're getting too close to the truth.
But like drop your voice down a couple pitches.
Yeah.
Well, the story is just a silhouette of me.
It's just the hair. The hair would be in full color. though.
Hair's full color. I'm in silhouette. That'd be great. Oh man.
So
Goddamn.
what is the next steps, I guess, for you guys? You got the EP release 25th.
I think we're calling it an LP now at this point.
Yeah, it's a little over
album.
half an hour, right? It's an album
Yeah,
now
album.
at this
Album.
point.
It's like 35 minutes or 36
36,
minutes.
I mean,
8 tracks, you know. Most of them, hell, all but 2 of them are longer than 5
Oh, is
minutes.
it 8
I think.
tracks?
Oh wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
most
I
of
still was
them are-
thinking
One of
5
them will
was the one.
surprise you. I'll just
Number
throw that
3
out
will
there.
surprise you.
I need to update the Bandcamp and everything.
I don't know. I don't know which one you're
Which-
talking about. Is it U-Par?
I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Oh,
U-Par.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
U-Par.
U-Par.
Number 4 will
Number
shock you.
4 might shock you.
Yeah,
All of them will.
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. But number 4 might throw you for a loop compared to all
Go
the
into
other
this
four
with
give you
no
the shocker.
expectations. You will love it.
Is it a country song?
No,
not
It's
country.
actually a classical
pretty
piece.
close.
Classical guitar
it's
piece.
classical.
It's all him.
Yes.
Like
It's
that.
just
Hell
Jack.
yeah.
I don't know though. I think like
just Jack
in all
Scorched.
reality though, like after we get it released
That's
and we
all
get
for
some
it.
more traction with that and play it a little bit. I mean, we're wanting to focus some more on writing and trying to maybe streamline the process a little bit, you know, and try to write in a little more of a cohesive manner too. Like we're kind of all over the place in this one. There's a lot. There's some hardcore. There's some thrash. There's some death metal type stuff. There's some prog, especially once he jumps in. There's some like more. You know, power prog type stuff. So I think going forward, we're gonna try and lock in a sound.
Yeah, figure it
Yeah, we got a lot of different tunings. Well, at least 3. You know,
Yeah.
drop A, drop B, or drop C, drop D. You know, or standard D. You know, we kind of jump all over the place. So
I usually play in standard tuning, and I got a drop pedal.
yeah, you got the little.
But
pitch
we
shifter thing.
we tune our guitars to standard D, and then whenever we drop down to C, I'll take my drop tuner and I don't like drop tunings that much, though I do play some songs in drop tuning, but I like playing in standard. So I play in standard C while he plays in drop C, and he'll play in drop C. And then the one song we have where before he came in the band, we played drop A,
Oh yeah.
and he plays it in standard D, and just the way the chording works, it works well with when you play drop A and a standard D guitar. It just works well just for
It's a fourth.
Interesting.
so.
Fifth. Yeah, it kind of depends which way you want to go with it. But yeah.
Didn't really answer your question, I realize.
Yeah, I think as far as like songwriting and recording goes,
Yeah.
that's kind of the
That's
path
the
we
next
want to
step,
go.
yeah.
But
And I would
outside
like
of
to
that,
try.
we have like some festivals we're trying to get into,
Yeah,
into playing.
yeah.
and,
Bucket City Punks.
Yeah.
Burro
Burro
Fondo.
Fondo, some things like that. Hopefully we can get on the ticket for those.
Yeah, we met
Look
the
into
folks.
that if y'all want to do like some summer stuff.
Yeah, we met the folks in charge of
If
that.
we have a
Media
full
Band.
Oh, you will.
Yeah.
Totally.
Dude,
Everybody's
I'll find
like,
somebody.
Yeah.
But
We'll start asking around for you guys.
yeah, I think that.
Or like
Totally.
send a list to us, be like, Jesus Christ, no. Hard pass.
I really want to get isolated for like 4 days at least, and if we only get 3 songs out of it, so be it. But I really want to see if we can like get in the mountains for a few days and just bring all of our shit.
Dude, hell yeah. I've
That would
always
be
thought
really
the same
cool.
shit like that. Like
Yeah.
in a cabin, Pigeon Forge or something. Just
Gatlinburg,
for like
Pigeon
a
Forge. Totally.
You hit it right on the nail.
That's
That's
it. Yeah,
exactly
that's what we were thinking.
yeah. I've always thought
But you want to
cabin,
talk
Pigeon
about hard to
Forge.
get 5 people together for 2
Yeah.
nights a week for 2
Right.
hours a week, or full 4 hours, I guess, total a week. 4 days or whatever. Like that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But I think that would do us a lot of good, especially in trying to, even if it's just like you said, 2 or 3 songs. Those 2 or 3 songs will hopefully be a little more cohesive and a little more thematically linked. I'm not saying we're just diving right into the
Right.
to the concept album or whatever, but I would like to make a step more in that direction, the more conceptual, like sometimes a
Yeah.
little weirder,
For sure.
but nothing crazy.
I feel like it's a lot easier to write when you have kind of a concept of what you want to do. Like with the EP, instrumentally we didn't know the concept, but lyrically we kind of knew that we wanted to go based off of AI and everything, and so it was just it's like, well, we watch all these documentaries anyway, let's
Right.
just take all this shit,
You know who Ben Gortzel is? Have you heard of that guy? He's on a Joe Rogan podcast. He seems like a nut, but he's probably the most woke person you'll ever see.
Really?
But
Oh yeah, I'll check it out.
I did my senior paper over AI, and he had like a big influence over it. So
Nice.
Really?
yeah, so you should check that out if you're into that.
Definitely up our alley. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all about it. It was like when we were writing the new songs, it was like, man, it sucks that we can't just continue always being
We
AI
could.
themed. We could. It'd be
Yeah,
hard.
I mean,
Because
yeah.
even on the
Plenty to
EP,
talk about.
even on the EP, it was like, well, we're repeating ourselves a couple times, but
I don't know, picking a genre like that, well, you could be whatever genre you want musically, but like when you pick like a literary, or like you were talking about that Wonders of the World thing, or it's like I'm a big sci-fi fantasy type thing. I love Dune or like Halo or Lord of the Rings, any of that stuff. So it's like gives you a lot of good inspiration where when you're an instrumentalist primarily like I am, you don't have to say it. You don't have to be like, oh, dude, I was just jamming on Halo. And so I was like, bro, Steve Vai in Halo 2. Like, I'm going to do something like that. Or
Yeah.
You don't have to say it. You don't have to mention it, but you can be like, yeah, that's where I was coming from.
Yeah.
On that. Like, this whole next album, I could be like, oh, yeah, lyrically, the concept was this. But in my mind, the whole time, I was just like, oh, yeah, dude. Like,
yeah. It's weird musically how you do that shit, too. You just be like, I want to combine these elements.
yeah.
Oh. But writing riffs, I was going to ask you this about isolating yourself. Do you find it hard to come up with ideas on the spot?
Yes, it's very difficult.
I find it
like
hard
for
to-
me
I find
anyway.
it hard remembering anything I did on the spot.
True, yeah.
Well, that's true. And like in our last couple practices, Jack and I have been doing just like we'll start doing some kind of jam of any sort. Like we had some kind of, what would you call it the other night?
We've been doing
some jazzy,
jazz
yeah,
stuff.
Like a
Yeah.
fusion,
which is not
weird
my background at
soul
all.
shit.
But like just the more that I've dug into music theory and like just really trying to learn it so that I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's really kind of like. Not to say that I do, but like it's really started making me think about things in a different way. So yeah,
Yeah.
we were playing some jazzy type stuff, and you jumped in with the like little bossa
Yeah.
nova drum work or something.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's pretty fun.
Anytime we can get the chance to do that, like just to kind of take a break from what you normally play. It's like going for a walk, or like you got a problem or something, you go out and get some fresh
Clear
air.
your
You
head.
come back to it, and it's easier. So like it's like a palate cleanser. Like we've been jamming on this heavy metal stuff, and it's like I just feel like I've been playing the same thing over and over.
Yeah,
For sure.
So we play some jazz for 10 minutes. Yeah, and then it's like, wait a second, we just played rock. Like, we're awesome.
It's funny sometimes when you take a step back from what you play too, and you'll just do something really simple. You're like, this is groovy, you know, like this is really cool. But when you're writing for, like, this is gonna be a song, you know, for some reason it convolutes everything. You're like, oh, it has to do this, and it has to be this.
It has to meet these standards that I didn't have before.
I can't do power chords, just, you know.
Yeah, a lot of times I record just anything I hear in my head, I'll pick it out, and then I'll record it. And I've got probably 300 riffs on my computer.
Just you singing into your phone.
And like doing hum stuff, like, you know, I'll hum a rhythm or a tune in my head that I'm hearing, and then I'll just record on my phone, sing it, and then sometimes I'll pick it out, but I got a lot of ideas that I haven't used that we can use in this band.
That was a cool process that we did, like, right before we started this group. And then actually I think we did once everybody was in the group, like when we were trying to write stuff, we sat down by Adam's laptop and went through like 100 files, and some of them were him just like dun, 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 you know, and other ones were like where he set the phone down and had his acoustic or whatever and picked it out, and we just went through. It was like, that's cool, like we could flesh that out, you know. And we all just had our guitars there or whatever, and it's like, okay, let's try that one over there, that dun, 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 you know, we picked that one out.
I remember
and just like dun, 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 you know, we were just like trying to play it and stuff.
I remember we were
cool.
I had you come over to my apartment and listen to all these riffs that I had, and one of the things I hummed was the first riff to El Medio. And
you'd had that one for like
and then I picked it out, and that's the first riff of the song. So
damn, you should have started it with your voice recording.
Yeah, right.
And then kick it in.
I'm sure you I'm sure you still got it.
Yeah,
We can't anymore.
we can still do it live. Just do
Do a high pass filter.
Yeah.
Like,
Kind of like a
Sing it like
almost,
Beavis.
Bring me, or not, A Day to Remember.
Yeah, A Day to Remember.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Wow, what's the name of that song?
Us.
Downfall of a Song.
Yeah, don't blow us all.
Banger.
That's a cool process, though.
Yeah.
Can't say I remember saying a riff into my phone for an idea.
No, you
I got
can't
them
sing.
on my phone now.
Got to start there.
Can't sing.
It'd just be like dun 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 dun. It'd be like, no, you hear this melody?
Right,
It's like
right.
one
Yeah,
note.
it's like goes. Sounds monotone, bro.
Just you like hitting your steering wheel or whatever. It's like, can't you
I've done
tell
that
what that
before
is?
when like it's been late at night, and you know I can't just go play on my drums to figure something out. So I'll have like my flip-flops on and like a couple pillows and a chair or something, and I'll like hit on pillows and chair and like kick with my
Your kick will be your
flip-flops,
flip-flop.
so that I can hear the differences in a little recording and be like, all right, that's an idea I got. Like I talk to myself when I do it, like this is an idea I got.
Start
All right,
date.
here we go.
6 months.
Doing the heel toe with the flip flop. Yeah.
Works out sometimes though. Sometimes you listen to it the next day, you're like, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. But sometimes
That's the
it works
worst
out.
part when you
Yeah.
sit down for like 5 hours on this part, and like in the moment you're like, this is so fucking awesome. And then you come back the next day and you're just like,
Nope.
this is unusable. Like, there's nothing to it. This is the worst thing I've
You
ever
just
seen.
write riffs
Yeah.
that you
Trash
can't
it.
play sometimes too. Like you hear something in your head and you sit down and you can play it really slow and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, and like let me toss in some down pick fast up. And you're just like, oh my god, I broke it.
Yeah.
Fucked it all.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah.
make the sweet patterns. Yeah.
Oh right, you're over here do 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 do.
Yeah.
And
I'm
you're
like,
all
that
right, let's
sounds
sleep
cool.
it.
I'm like, all right, it's like 160 BPM. No, there's no way.
Yeah. It's the worst. Just sitting down. When practicing, you're just sitting with a metronome at like half tempo, you know,
Yeah.
and you're like, fucking nail this.
This dude,
And it's like you hit this certain BPM where you're just like, oh, okay, this is hard.
I'm starting to feel it fall apart.
Yeah.
And it's
Yep.
like you're on a train that's about to just like just really
Yeah.
slowly lean in. You're like, oh, no.
In 20 more hours, I'll nail it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Gosh.
it's a pretty sudden transition from when you
Right.
can play
Yeah,
it to when
it's
you can't.
weird.
It's like 135 BPM, nail it. 140 BPM, not a chance.
Yeah.
You're
It's
dreaming,
so
bud. You're
weird.
dreaming.
It means your technique breaks down at some point, but between there,
You
But
got
I
like
can
a
never
tolerance.
understand.
You got like
yeah.
a maximum acceptable level.
All right, I guess that's where I need to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I feel it was for you with like doubles on kicks. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
did a
all
lot
of a
of
sudden,
practicing on that.
at first, like, I mean, you could do them, but then there came a point where you could just, I mean, all day.
It was more controlled. Yeah, after a certain
Yeah. Yeah,
I feel that.
does it sound good still at 140 BPM? Yeah.
Yeah, I get that guitar wise where it's like technically it's played, but you know
Right.
it's not controlled.
How,
Yeah.
how clean does it
Yeah,
sound?
yeah, yeah. What about vocally? What's your process?
Man, I mean, when I first started, it was just driving to and from Murfreesboro, like, to school. And so it just became, like, something that I was like, well, can I get better, like, tomorrow than I was the next day? And then, like, I don't practice as much now in a band as I did, like, back then. Because I'd be in the car, like, every day, like, you know, just, like, going crazy. And then now I'm like, oh, well, I need to rest. But it just really came from listening to all sorts of different music and like wanting to sing as well. And it was like, well, I don't really trust myself as a singer, but I think I trust myself as like a screamer. And through screaming, I actually kind of taught myself how to sing a little bit better. And
It's just more control, I think. Really, yeah. You don't blow yourself out.
yeah, I mean, it's very much like learning an instrument, except it's you have to learn to like ride this line. Like,
Yeah.
and if you're not riding that line, like you can do some serious damage, or you're gonna sound like shit.
Yeah.
Like, and
Well, this is your first band, isn't it?
mm-hmm.
Pretty cool, right? Like, I
Yeah.
you know, that's one of those things. If nobody noticed before, that's good, right? Like, no one's ever gonna ask you, like, is this your first band? No.
right.
I think
No,
this
but
is
I
my.
don't
I
think
think this is my 10th band.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I think.
I'm not sure. I guess.
And that's helped probably the most out for all of us, because Adam was like, shit, I already know what I'm doing. And like all of us are like, we've never recorded anything.
Yeah.
What's going
And
on?
so it's going to be cool to see.
What are this?
Yeah.
And speaking of recording, before we went to record, we
Did a lot of
we did mapped out click tracks, just so we can get used to hearing them in the studio when we play. So I'd make an MP3 of the click tracks, and if there's any time changes, I'd make time changes. So we would all put on headphones, and I got this little headphone distribution thing where I hooked up my phone to and hit play, be 8 beats, and then we'd start the song, and we would all, like I said, hear the click on headphones, and we'd play along just so we can, whenever we go into the studio, we're used to that tempo.
That
And we
helps a
did this
lot.
for a couple months just to prepare us, you know.
That helps a lot, and you know, I think having such a shitty like setup at the start of it really helped us too, because like if you can get down in the nitty gritty and really dedicate yourself when you're sweating, like in a 10 what was it, 10 by 15.
It was a 10 by 15 storage
It was
unit,
a
and it was
metal
hot
box
as a
that we played
motherfucker
in.
in there.
Either
It was like
hot
110
balls or
degrees.
Yeah, it was rough, and you know, I mean, hearing protection was a must. If you didn't, like, there were several times when it was getting cold or whatever, and we wanted to keep the door closed, and I would forget my earplugs or whatever, so I would just run the cord under the door and stand outside the practice room and play. Because I was like, I'm not doing this, man. Like, I can feel it blowing my ears out. Like, all I can hear is that like natural distortion of like the
echo
metal
and-
walls just like gonna bring the whole fucking building down, and I was like, I can't do this. And so yeah, then we moved over to Ridenauer in Murfreesboro. There's a plug for them, Ridenauer Rehearsal Studios.
Shout out.
Yeah, really great though. They really are awesome. Super professional, super great gear. You know,
keep us fed and watered.
they do.
Yes, they do.
It's a happy place. They take care of us. They found us when we were, you know, without home.
Took us off the streets.
They did, yeah. Away from
lads.
the Xfinity
Streets of
station,
Murfreesboro.
and from the jail. The jail was like a stone's throw away from.
Yes,
where-
it was. I go there during lunch sometimes, and I hear
jail.
sheriff shooting at the range all the time at noon, 11:30. Just
Yeah.
so.
It was in the industrial park kind of area of Murfreesboro, and yeah, we had there was like a bale. Oh, and like the so the facility itself shared their office with a bail bonds company. And there were some sketchy ass people out there. Like we would be out there like 9, 10, 11 o'clock on a Thursday night or whatever, and these like blacked out cars would come out. They'd go in the office and sit there for like hours, dude. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Cigarettes and
Yeah,
walking in and out.
Well,
Like,
and
talking on the phones
one
about
day they
something
came
with
out
their
like
husband.
with an operation. Like they were geared up, ready to go. There was like 5 or 6 big bounty hunter dudes, and of course they looked probably how you'd expect, like big rough looking dudes. They all had their walkies on and like little officer of the court badges or whatever. And I'm like, holy shit! Like they're about to go crack some heads, and we're over here like play a song for them, I guess. They're getting
We'll
geared
get y'all
up.
hyped to go
Getting geared up for battle or whatever with their paintballs or whatever.
paintballs. I'll kind of add on to how we played with the clicks all the time and everything to prepare for going to the studio. Another thing that we did a lot of was make like home recordings of our songs and then listen back through them. Because I mean, when you're at practice and you're playing, it sounds different to yourself than if you have a recording and you listen back to it. So we did a lot of that too, so we could like listen back to it and be like, oh man, now that I'm listening to it from an outside perspective, I think this and this and this need to be a little different. Things like that. So we weren't wasting money or time at the studio figuring those things out.
Right.
Yep.
So that helped out a lot as well.
Yeah, we recorded. I think we recorded each song like twice, like just to demo them out before we went to the studio, and made sure that all the musicianship parts of the songs that you hear were there, like tom fills and stuff like that, like a guitar riff going with drums and stuff like that. So we revised, like I was saying, we revised the songs 2 or 3 times just to make sure that
We wanted to have
you
all
want
our
to make it sound good in the studio without wasting too much time.
all of our I's dotted and our T's crossed.
It was still hard in the studio.
It was.
Yeah, it is.
I think it
Always.
was easier than it could.
For sure.
There's definitely been worse.
It could have been a train wreck, but it was like fine.
There is a really not crappy story, but just like we were all pissed.
Oh,
yeah, dude, we got ripped off.
It's a rough story.
We went to first record.
Now we're getting started.
What was who actually set that up?
behind
It was me.
That's what I thought.
That was the mistake. We let the youngins set that.
I set up the Randy one too. I set up
Okay,
Ovation
well,
Studios,
you
too,
redeemed
so.
yourself. It's
But yeah, I did feel super bad about that. I responded. I was just like eager to get us into the studio, and this was probably back in July, maybe late July.
it was pretty warm.
And
July, August, something
yeah,
like that.
and so I just responded to the first Craigslist ad I saw for Nashville studio looking to record bands, and so I sent them our stuff, and then I was like, "Do you record metal?" And he was like, "Sure." And so then
Sure.
That's the first
Oh, yeah,
song.
no, barely.
Sure,
It barely, it was no, very much not so. And like it was just the whole thing reeked scam, but we didn't really realize that until we were there at the place.
At 8 o'clock in the morning, or earlier than that, maybe.
It was on a Sunday.
It was on a Sunday.
Like 8.
And so we get there, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if we should mention the name of the place. Like, we don't actually want to sling shit at anybody
Yeah,
here.
fuck them.
I mean,
They were
it's
at
generic
this,
name.
they were
wasn't
at this
anything-
weird, like, Kratom CBD, like, just weird store.
They
Kratom?
shared they shared the space with a Kratom / tea shop.
CBD
like,
and
tea shop.
Just
Yeah.
weird.
And it was
like,
right next to a
herbal.
diesel shop, and
before
one of the dudes in the diesel shop was walking around, and we asked him, was like, "Hey, is there a recording studio here?" And he said, "Yeah, they record bands here all the time." And nobody showed up.
We were all out there.
Nobody showed
we were
up.
there for probably already
least
like
an
an hour and a half.
We were there,
So
all out on the
then we
curb.
asked him, and we were like, okay, maybe there is hope.
Well, we
Maybe
were out
there
there
is
on the
hope.
curb
And
with
then
all our shit. Like, his drum kit was
Yeah.
all unpacked. We had our amps and stuff. We were
Damn.
knocking on the door, ringing on the doorbell, and it turns out, like, the dude was there.
Texting
He
him,
just
calling
didn't feel like
him.
getting off his ass and going to the front door and seeing us.
About 9:30, this truck pulled up, and he was just like hanging out in his car, and he sat there for 15 minutes and like didn't even
Yeah.
look over at us. Like we were within He just didn't look out of his peripheral.
Yeah, he stared straight ahead the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm here, waiting for a band to come knock on our window.
Well, actually, I made eye contact with the guy when I first pulled up, but I saw the picture of the guy who owned the studio, and that was not him. And it was very much not
Well, it turns
him.
out that was his boy, his helper.
Yeah, it turns out that was his sound engineer helper guy. But he never said there would be a sound engineer. We thought it was just him that was going to be there.
Right.
And so then, I didn't think to say anything to this guy. But at the same time, this guy was right here in a truck, probably 20 feet away from an entire drum set being lined up on the sidewalk, and he was like...
They must be here for something else. They're playing a show at the 4x4 store.
At 9 o'clock on a Sunday.
And didn't he tell the guy that he came by and no one was there?
Yeah, so then I got an email. I finally got home. It was probably 1 or 2 p.m. at this point. We wasted our entire morning.
The whole day.
Yeah. And then I got an email from the guy, and he's like, yeah, my sound engineer was there, and he said you guys never showed up.
It's like, well, he didn't look very hard. We were
standing
outside the front
door. And we did not know to be looking for this guy either, so I was like, this is some random weirdo just staring at us.
Well, so of course we were worried.
Football in the parking lot.
Well, and of course we were worried that we were getting scammed because we spent $400 or something on this guy.
Oh, yeah, we did prepay.
Yeah,
we did. Because
and then we got it back. We got it back.
It
We
wasn't
did get
even
it
that
back.
shit.
So
it never cleared.
it definitely could have been
Just
worse.
cancel the
We
payment.
did get the money back, but still, I mean, it was... Where was it? It was in
It's so
Gallatin,
weird.
wasn't it? Or
It was on the way to Gallatin. It was
weird
north.
that.
It was probably not that far from here, actually.
Yeah.
It's like
Probably
Rivergate.
Yeah.
Either way, man, to get there Sunday, early morning, and the guys just can't even be bothered to get out of
3 or
his
4
ass,
hours.
get off his ass,
Dude,
and look out the front door.
That day was such a huge blow.
It
That
was.
was legit because it was so hot outside, dude. We were all sweaty and
Yeah, it's
exhausted.
very
Woke up
fucking
early
hot.
for this shit. Drove an hour to get there.
Right.
And you drove like an hour
I
and a
drove
half.
an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah,
And then there's
it
nothing
was a big time bummer.
Yeah. Whole
But-
time I'm blaming myself for
But
it
also,
too.
I'm kind of glad we got that one. Let's hope that one's out of the way. For a while, we can be at least we can look at the person that we're working with and know that they're a real person, not some scammer.
Stroke his
out
big,
and-
blonde, fluffy hair.
Yeah,
Worked out great the
Not talking
second
about
time.
it
though.
did.
Yeah.
So get that one out of the way. No big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
That's right. You gotta have one.
Yeah.
Do you think Nashville's ever gonna host
Like a real
Not-
metal fest. I think it's coming,
It was
dude.
at 111. Now they're not doing it again.
Well,
so.
I think it's coming though. Honestly, the way that all my teachers would talk at the guitar school and stuff, they're saying Nashville is the Hollywood of music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you see it all the time. You drive around in Nashville, you see California plates, New York, Pennsylvania, whatever. People are coming here from all over, even whether it's for tourist stuff, which really, I don't know how much of it is. There probably is. We've got a hockey team that's doing well. We've got a Major League Soccer team now too. As well as the metal scene has grown quite a bit, I think, in the last few years that I've been aware of it or that I've been a part of it.
Yeah.
So
I always think that too.
I think it's coming
and it's just
eventually.
there's so many people here. Metal's huge here.
Yeah.
There's
gotta
too
be.
many people for it to.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
rock and metal really isn't. People like to say that it's not.
it's not the
big,
fringe
but
thing that
it's-
people make it out to
yeah.
be. It's totally people everywhere listen
Yeah.
to it.
It's not as big as pop, but
Yeah.
Well, the biggest rock show in the world is in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil or whatever.
Yeah.
Every year, there's 500,000 people just in this field
Right.
in the middle of Brazil. Or Metallica played that show in the 90s in Moscow, and there was 3 million people or something
Yeah,
jammed into
Pantera.
Red Square. It was at least a million.
Wow.
There was a lot
it was
of people.
something like that. I remember watching the.
Yeah.
Was that on Joe Rogan that he talked about
Yes.
I think so.
that? Yeah.
Mhm.
He talked about the helicopters and
Yes.
people moshing and
Yeah,
everything.
dude.
That's so nuts.
Yeah.
It's out there, man. There's people. There's that one. Have you guys ever heard of the Who? That one Mongolian folk rock and metal band. They use Mongolian folk instruments and
thought
throat
you were talking
singing
about,
and
like,
stuff.
the-
No,
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
did.
well, no, it's the Who. It's the
Of course I've heard of the
it's the Who. It's the HU is how you spell it.
Kind of hilarious.
Yeah,
Have you heard of the Who? The HU?
That's the name of the band.
but that's just another.
HU.
It's all over the world, man.
Yeah.
They've got some pretty cool tunes out there. Actually, if you're ever looking for something different,
Yeah.
Speaking, I don't know. Oh, okay, because of the Who. Neil Peart.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
God, dude.
Yeah.
R.I.P. man.
Yeah.
Another
crazy.
one of the list. Now, the list is ever growing of bands that I wish I could see while all the members are still alive.
Yeah.
Like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden, Audioslave, Metallica, all these bands. It was if I could just once see them in their original full lineup, or not original necessarily, but the one that everybody
Right.
knows them. What a bummer.
You haven't seen Metallica yet?
I haven't. They came to Bridgestone January, and it's just like I've loved Metallica for a long time, but like I don't feel the same way about them that I used to, and so now I can't really like justify myself paying $400 for like a nosebleed seat.
They're going to be headlining 2 different days at Louder Than Life.
Dude, I saw that, and that shit blows my mind.
Yeah, they're going to be
because it's
2 different days.
sets.
Yeah, 2 different sets.
That's crazy.
You want to know some shit about
twice.
like? I almost got to see Tool in May of this past year. I went. You guys hear about the Epicenter Festival?
Yeah.
Total shit show, dude. Total shit show. It was like people were all comparing it to that Fire Festival thing, which I don't know if it was that bad.
Damn.
That's a big
I mean, you weren't there, but like,
I've heard the story.
yeah, no, I mean, it was rough. I wouldn't say it was like that from what I've heard anyway, but like,
Stranded.
either way though, like the campgrounds are like 30 minutes from the venue, like a 30-minute walk. I mean, it was a hike, dude. And so like I finally get there, first festival I've ever gone to, I'm by myself, just like living the life, got my tent set up and stuff. And I got to see Meshuggah the first day, which I was happy about. One of like 20 bands I wanted to see, pretty much the only one that I got to see. Saturday comes around, I had to walk back and forth to the fucking venue, and then it's time for Tool. It's like 30 minutes before Tool. I'm there, I'm getting ready to cross the street, and then we get this notification that it's like all festival activities are canceled for the rest of the day. And they're like possibly the rest of the thing. I was like, I drove 8 hours to get here, you know what I mean? In my piece of shit 20-year-old truck. Yeah. Like, I'm seeing Tool, and of course it still didn't happen, and this like just biblical storm comes through. Yeah. I mean, and I'm like sitting in the truck, stoned to the bone, just like staring out the window. I'm like, oh boy, here we go, it's happening, and like a tent flying around, dude.
That's God saying to not listen to metal.
Yeah, he's like,
don't listen to this devil shit.
Wasn't there a naked guy that like climbed
Yeah. It was like circumstances like that really bring out like the exceptional in certain people. Like I'm in here like clinging to life, holding on to my steering wheel, like maybe I should just bail, like I should just get out of here. And I look to the left, and there's this guy like naked as the day he was born, climbed on top of this like trellis thing with lights, and he's just like, yeah, like Epicenter Day 2, he's hanging off the thing, and there's like tents flying around, like no shit, a big canopy tent crashed into this person's car, rolled in between my truck and the truck in front of me, and this guy is just like dick flapping in the breeze, just like, yeah. He's happy to be alive, and I was like, yeah, man, all right, I'm in this, I'm here, so if nothing else, I got a pretty good story out of it, I think, or pretty good experience.
And then find that man and be like, you are an inspiration.
I know, I want to. Like, I might go back next year, because I think Metallica and Tool are going to be playing, I believe. They're obviously they didn't give up after the first try. Enough people paid to be there and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I can go to the bathroom.
We'll see.
Happens.
I mean, yeah, it happens to the best of us.
It sure does. Every once in a while.
Do you want to cut or you want to keep talking?
I can keep talking. He's fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
He'll find his way
What if
back.
he misses out on the greatest conversation ever?
That's his fault for getting up and pissing.
He'll walk in. Funny story.
But yeah, Tool's coming around here.
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah. I might. I don't know, man.
Bonnaroo looks pretty good this year, I gotta
Does
say.
it? I actually haven't checked
We were
out the
thinking about
lineup yet.
going. We talked about it.
I grew up there, and I've never
Really?
been. Yeah.
Damn.
Well, and it was another one of those things, like, there were so many awesome bands that I would have loved to see, but I was, like, a little too young to go to Bonnaroo. I was, like, 9 or 10,
Right.
And, like,
Couldn't handle the ecstasy
probably
back then.
can, yeah. Nowadays, maybe. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. I may go. We'll see.
Floggy Molly's gonna be there.
Yeah, like
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
more rock
That's
and
freaking
metal
cool.
in there.
Good. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
that's, why maybe they're going to try and move back more that direction,
Yeah.
I mean, I think
That'd be cool.
Exit 111, like, I guess it was a failure not doing it again, but at the same time I was there, it was fantastic. It was,
Yeah.
yeah,
I should've
still
gone.
really good turnout, really good bands. And so I feel like maybe it's in the exact same spot, so I think maybe they realized, like, oh, there's still demand for this.
Yeah.
And now we're getting Tool, we're getting Flogging Molly, which is like a deep cut rock, and that's fantastic. We're getting
There
that.
really was that with Bonnaroo, like first few years it was pretty indie, like there was a lot of indie rock and metal and there was still hip hop and DJs and stuff, but there was like a 3 or 4 year period where they were just like, no man, fuck it, all DJs, all
Yeah.
hip hop, and then like some comedy stuff, and there was some rock and stuff, but it's it just kind of went downhill as far as I'm concerned. But I'll go eventually when they have the perfect lineup, or when they let you buy individual day passes.
Yeah.
I don't know why
you
they-
can't do that.
Mm-mm.
Oh shit.
No, they never have been able
Maybe
to.
I won't then. That's
Yeah, that's the thing. You're like, day one looks awesome, and it's like, oh man,
Yeah, right.
$300 to see two bands that I might like.
But I do think that Nashville will have I just think this is a good spot for music, and it's just taking. I just feel like the 2010s were a transitional era.
Nashville's in the middle of a metamorphosis,
Yeah,
and that
it's
was
the right
like
place
the
at the
cocoon
right time.
stage where they were like, oh, let's
Metal
take
metamorphosis.
Yeah, it's coming.
That's a good festival name.
yeah,
right there.
right.
Metal
It's like a
metal
bunch of
metamorphosis.
spiders,
There you go,
a
just
bunch of
throw all
people
your own
dressed up as like
festival. Yeah.
spiders and butterflies and shit running around and like.
Just call up, Metallica. Be like,
Yeah, totally.
I'll give you a $200 guarantee. Like,
$200 game. Okay.
Dude,
That'll pay for McDonald's.
I saw some Loudwire thing about their show. There's what do you call it, the writer or whatever, and they've got to have like. For every venue that they play at, they've got to have food for like 200 people.
Yeah.
You know, for like 4 days, you've got to have 5-star accommodation. Like they're crazy. I mean, but when you've been Metallica for the last 30 years, like who says no to you?
Yeah.
Nobody.
You could be like, I want to sacrifice a child.
Yeah,
They'd be like,
totally.
oh, we need to get Metallica on the show.
Okay, do you have any preference on the child? Like, can it be? Oh, we got these over here. I don't know if that's what you want. But, yikes.
A U.S. citizen child?
Yeah, that's exactly it. The government steps in. We've got plenty over here.
Goes into the local hospital. You got any sickly ones?
Yeah.
They're gonna die anyway.
Probably not.
Like, we need to get Metallica on this show.
Get Bono on that show.
We're looking to get Ozzy
He's a dick.
to come out here. So
He's number 2.
We need a child.
Yeah, how's Ozzy doing? He's doing better
New
now, right?
song
He
with
released.
Elton
Just
John.
released, yeah.
Post Malone there too.
Yeah.
That song was a banger, too.
I actually like that one quite a
I haven't
bit.
heard that one yet. All I heard was
Old
Under the
Posty.
And
Graveyard.
that's when all the youngins were like, "Oh
Yeah.
man,
Wait,
Post
yeah,
Malone making
right,
this guy
exactly.
famous."
Ozzy blows up.
Making this old
Oh,
British
no,
dude
yeah.
break out. Yeah.
Bringing this old man to light.
Maybe he'll get his own reality TV show.
Yeah, maybe like 16 years ago.
Oh, man. Did you guys watch, what's the one with Motley Crue?
The Dirt.
The Dirt. I have not seen it
I
yet.
did watch
The
it.
guy that,
Pretty
the
good.
guy they had do
I watched it
Ozzy
with
too.
my dad.
Yeah, I did
It's
too.
very
I watched it with my
uncomfortable
dad
at the
too.
beginning.
Yeah.
My dad is not like, he likes, the older classical or classic music, classic rock now. So he liked Motley Crue quite a bit, but he no cussing.
Oh,
doesn't
Oh, yeah.
That's not my dad
like
at all.
crap is a bad word,
Right.
and
Oh,
here we
wow.
are watching Motley Crue, where there's girls like squirting in the first
Yeah,
15 minutes of the movie, and I'm like, fast forward.
no, my
He's the one
dad.
that wanted to watch.
My
it,
dad
so-
was a hair metal child. Like, he was all about it. We were cracking open beers and laughing the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
especially the Ozzy scene was great when he's down there
yeah.
like snorting a line of ants off
Yeah.
the ground. Like, yeah, well, no,
Licking
and
the
then
piss
and then he
snorting.
peed on the ground and licked that up, or maybe the other way around. Yeah, and they snorted. But that's like a real tour story. You know?
Yeah.
It was like he did that shit. He would
Yeah.
just, Could you imagine having that level of power? Like, not talking about like political power or influence. I mean, like your power level. You know what I mean? Like, you are not of this world.
Over 9,000.
Who's gonna stop him too? He's like, I'll do it. I'll bite a head off this bat. Like, you guys are gonna talk about it for
Yeah.
the rest of your lives.
Have you seen the South Park where Chef was like, I told him to, what the fuck was it? He's like, I thought he said to bite the head off a bat, so I did it.
Oh man, good stuff.
I like that new season.
I haven't
When
seen.
they're shooting all the cows. It's like,
We didn't eat them. That shit crack. I was just like, holy shit. This show, man. So good.
I haven't watched too much of the new.
I haven't
South
seen the
Park.
newest one.
The new season.
I
I
need
think it's the best season in the last like 5.
Couple of years, yeah. Yeah, it's really good. I'm a fan.
I'm gonna have to check it out for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed
Okay.
it. all, but-
Yeah, he was doing the Mr. Mackey voice.
The last show I did. This is okay.
What's this pause?
I don't know.
Last show.
not
Okay,
that
this
Stroke.
I've heard
podcast.
people say I can do Mr. Mackey pretty well and Meat Wad.
Oh yeah.
Go for it, man.
Yeah, it's
Don't say shit, say poom kai.
that's really good.
That is good.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good. Yeah, that is good.
God damn.
Do an entire show where you just talk like that in
Yeah.
between the songs.
You should just do like a promo for you guys talking.
Yeah.
in one of the
I need to get a Mr. Mackey mask
Yeah.
or a Meatwad fucking
No,
outfit,
I know
an
or
outfit.
something.
Yeah,
like,
we need like
Actually, I have.
we can
Have you
make
seen-
a
have you seen- hey, have you seen those-
that like encompasses your whole body?
Have you seen those things called corduroys? They're like queen size mattresses
yes.
inside of like a
Like a
corduroy
beanbag.
bag
Yeah,
that you zip.
It's like a beanbag that turns into a mattress.
I got one at home,
Dude,
and
really?
it's
They're
it's
awesome.
fucking awkward. It's
that's your
probably
Meatwad
this
costume
fucking
right
round,
there.
and it's impossible
It's
to
huge.
move.
They're really cool, but that's your Meatwad costume.
But that
right
is
there.
it's
We'll just-
definitely it's a
Comic-Con.
Meatwad.
Yeah, we'll just bore a hole straight through it and then spray paint it red, and then you're ready to go.
It is red.
And then
Oh,
you,
there you
and then you just have
Spray paint it
like,
more red.
record you on
Right.
like one side of the camera frame doing all the Meatwad stuff or whatever, and then record you
Mr.
again
there you
just
go.
doing all the
Mr. Mackey
on
Yeah,
that
and
side,
talking
and then
to
just
each other.
stitch them together in one video. It's just you,
You
talking
Talking
back and forth,
Yeah.
between the two.
Sure, why not? It doesn't have to make sense.
We're branching out artistically.
great.
Aren't
Yeah.
you having your poet friend come to the
Oh yeah, like
album release show?
the
We
whole
got a,
shebang.
We
We're
got
playing
some kind of
bingo
slam
at the album
poetry
release
show.
show.
yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah,
poetry.
doing a
we're
metal
giving
bingo.
we're giving at our show on
25th.
January 25th. We're having a bingo game where we're throwing in one of each of our piece of merch, which is 2 shirts, a CD, a 7-inch record, and both of our stickers. And the other 3 bands, Meditator, Iron Uprise, and Yugen, they're throwing in merch as well. So for $3 for your first bingo card, or $2 for each additional card, we'll play a bingo game right before we play our set at the end of the show, and win like $125 worth of merch, or $130, whatever
Well,
it
if you
might
buy 10
cost
tickets
you.
or more, you get a chance
Yeah.
to take Jack home with you.
Sure, why not?
Do whatever you want.
chance.
A chance. Old Jack Scorched.
He'll scorch you the right way.
Cool, guys. Well, I think that
It's wild.
about wraps it up.
Yeah.
Any
For sure.
closing thoughts? Shit you wanna?
Just check out the new record.
Yeah,
Scorched
January
Vatika.
25th.
dude.
Fresh off the press.
Tremble.
Yeah.
Tremble.
It's labor of love.
Big thanks to Archeons for having us. Or wait, it's
Yeah,
just that you guys know.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
We enjoyed playing with y'all
We
so
did.
much.
Yeah,
that
we
was
need to
fun.
get
Yeah,
that
It was
was a good
fucking
time.
Be on the
great.
lookout for a video game for between the two of us, right?
Yeah.
Some kind of
Yeah.
animated video,
Yeah, yeah, right.
some kind of
The
concept.
old ultimate battle.
Yeah, man.
It's come full circle because I've tried out for you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Wait, you did?
yeah.
How did
Yeah.
I miss that little piece of lore?
That happened.
Yeah. I
That's some
remember.
Hey,
Lord,
didn't you
dude.
say one of them delivered to your house or something?
I don't think so.
Okay, I thought you said somebody from the band was delivering to your house for something.
No, that there was a band that some guy was like working at Papa John's and he delivered once.
Oh, okay.
But-
All right. Never mind.
No, I mean it's just cool. I mean we've already
Yeah.
played a show together. Now we're doing this. Like
Just
I probably wouldn't have kept going. Like if you guys hadn't encouraged me and been like, oh dude, like keep trying, and it worked out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then it
for
worked
sure.
out,
You
didn't
always
it? Yeah.
find like, you always find like that path.
Some
And
sort of groove to fit in.
Yeah, because like I was just talking to our other roommate about this, about especially with creative passion, if you never pursue it, like you'll never get the opportunity of finding something. Because if you keep going, most of the time you're gonna find something you're like, this is amazing, and I cherish this, you know.
Yeah.
But if you just quit, then
Right.
You never
You
know.
never
only
get that
ever
chance.
get,
You never
you only
fucking
ever
know.
get what you put into it,
Yeah.
which was like a half-assed effort or whatever.
so,
And
yeah.
well, I mean, what you guys saying, you know, telling him to keep going, that's keeping the community alive. That's growing it. That's obviously like, you know, he might not have joined the band. We might not have ever found a singer, and you know, we would all died in the gutter. You know? Well, we face down in the ditch outside the storage unit.
died face
Never
down in
would
the
have been
muck.
rock stars.
Yeah.
Our lives would have amounted to nothing.
I know,
Ever.
you know, compared to what it is now.
But Adam said once he was like, I just have to play music, and
I have to. It's a must for me until the day I die. I will play music, and
It's that,
you have whatever dream it may be for you, whether it's a painter or a meteorologist or somebody building drag cars, you got to do it.
You do.
You
yeah,
have
for sure.
you have to find a passion. That's the meaning of life. Find a passion and stick with it. You know. So.
Just got deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We can go deeper.
to throw. That's what she said.
I got a half-inch left.
Damn, marathon runner.
We all got a lot to look
Man of
forward to,
steel.
Yeah, for real.
Like what they always say, you know, if you don't try, you're definitely definitely
Yeah, it's
not gonna happen.
Like,
You
it's
miss 100% of the shots
you
you don't
miss
take.
100%.
Wayne
All is
Gretzky,
life.
Michael
Yep.
Scott.
All is life.
Oh man.
But yeah, for sure, it's definitely that creative curse where it's something that's really hard and really painful sometimes. You know, like trying to do music or anything, you know, that you're passionate about, but you have to do it. There's no way that you can't.
Put
And if
in
you
your
give up,
dues.
then you feel that, you know, deep down, you're like, fuck.
Right, like I
broken.
failed myself. Yeah, you got to pay your dues though. You know, you got to get up there and play in front of 2 people before you can play in front of 2 million or 200 or whatever it is. You
Yeah.
know.
Make me think of the NF song "Paid My Dues" that just released not that long ago.
Banger.
Yeah, that's a dope song.
Yeah, buddy. Well, thank you guys so much
Sweet.
for coming.
Absolutely.
on.
Thanks for having us
Thanks
on.
for having
Hell
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Middle life.
Yeah,
Sweet.
check out our OnlyFans for Jack Scorched material.
Jack Scorched and Alec.
And yeah, Jack and silent partner.
J-Ack and A-Lec.
Yeah,
We'll have some good content coming out on that.
yeah,
soon.
we'll have to send them that one. You can put it as the
The
thumbnail.
link will
or
be in the
whatever.
description.
Yeah.
The Jack links.
Description.
Holy shit. Something was just born here today.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that's great.
Good work, everybody.
No, our fucking you Sasquatch over here with your
Yeah.
fucking
Messing with Sasquatch.
Wow.
Thanks for checking out the video, guys. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon for notifications. If you want to take it a step further, we got a Patreon page. Help videos like this keep coming. Thanks, guys.